Robert Schuman, founding father of the European Union, said that European democracy is bound to Christianity. It's a question whether this statement is still valid today or not. I'm asking Mauro, Italian member of the European Parliament, whose message is for the students of the Students Without Boundaries program of the Rákóczi Foundation.
The political project that we call Europe was born from the suffering of a few men, the Gasperi, Schuman and Adenauer, as a response that was as pragmatic as it was true. They were able to declare it as a sort of antidote against ideology and to promote it in terms of prophetic hope. But, in this sense, is this vision still true today? Does it help us to respond to the needs of modern men, of the European citizens of today? European institutions are nowadays places where there is a prejudice against Christianity. We must understand that it is not a question of a political dialectics as such, but the survival itself of the experience of a people. The problem is, what are we and what is Europe? Europe must understand again that the feasibility of building valid options for the people of today and of the future is to be found in the relation between the laws of nature and politics. Otherwise, we will more and more furiously attack not only that political project that we call Europe, but also the experience of the men and the women who are part of it. In this sense, the theme of Christian roots becomes more serious. This is not a topic to leave to the wishful thinking of the church hierarchies, but it is the question of the survival of Europe itself. Today, there is the opportunity for a whole society to find itself again and its own identity, its own nature, and also its own aim, the reason why we are what we are. We have the duty to respond to this challenge. What do we have to offer, not only in terms of a proposal of meaning, but also in terms of a political project and of experience in order to promote the coexistence of people? What do we have to offer if we are not able to ask ourselves about the foundations of what binds us? The theme of the future of Europe is set at this level. It must respond to this challenge. We must be able to say, by winning the battle against fundamentalisms and relativisms, what we are and what we believe in. For a better Europe, we must believe, work and fight for it. Europe was born Christian. We cannot let that be prey to distortions and exploitations. One example is enough. All people and all political organizations are symbolized by flags that characterize their own collective identity. Europe is recognized in the blue banner with 12 stars that waves on our public buildings and on the plates of our cars. The flag, adopted in 1955 by the Council of Europe, was confirmed as the symbol of the European Union in the constitutional treaty signed in Rome on October 29, 2004. This treaty, in which the recognition of the Christian roots of Europe was refused to be introduced, was later rejected by the French and Dutch referenda. But not everybody knows that the reference to Christianity was in the European Constitution exactly in its symbol par excellence, on the flag, because those 12 stars come from the devotion to the Virgin Mary, and they do not refer to the number of the adherent states. Not everybody knows it, because the true origin of the 12-star flag is the object of a distortion orchestrated in the communitarian institutions. It is enough to surf on the website of the European Union to read that the crown of golden stars represents the solidarity and the harmony among people of Europe, or that in different traditions 12 is a symbolic number representing completeness. The European Union website goes on in its explanation, declaring that it obviously has to do with the number of the months of the hours indicated on the dial of the watch. Moreover, the circle is the sign of unity. These are distortions that must be explained going back over the stages which led the creation of the European banner. The design competition opened by the Council of Europe in 1950 was won by a painter who, at that time, was not really famous, Arsène Heitz. He proposed 12 white stars placed in a circle with a blue background. Arsène Heitz took his inspiration for the sketch of the flag from the so-called miraculous medal that he had around his neck. This medal was coined after the appearance of Mary to Catherine Labouré in 1830, and it was the Madonna herself who told the religious to represent on the medal the 12 stars of the crown on the head of the woman of the Apocalypse. Bernadette Soubirous wore the miraculous medal tied around her neck with a string on February 11, 1858, when, for the first time, Our Lady appeared to her dressed in white and blue. The original colors, white and blue, touched the president of the jury, the Belgian Jewish Paul Lévy, who probably saw in them a connection to the flag of the newly formed State of Israel, exactly white and blue. Arsène Heitz did not reveal to the jury the biblical origins of the sign. He admitted it afterwards, but he maintained that the number 12 was following ancient wisdom, a symbol of completeness. This interpretation was then accepted, and the number was consequently confirmed in the Constitutional Treaty. The Council of Europe afterwards encouraged the other European institutions to adopt the same flag, and in 1983 the European Parliament approved this proposal. In 1985 the flag was finally adopted by all the states and government leaders of the European Union as the official emblem of the European Union. As I was saying, the God of Europe, Christian roots and the future of Europe 19 before, the European website only says that the number of stars does not depend on the number of the member states. This is definitively something extremely vague. The number 12 comes out repeatedly in the Old and New Testaments: 12 children of Jacob and 12 tribes of Israel, 12 of Jesus' apostles, the gates of Jerusalem and of heaven. There are also the shrines in St. John, the Old Lateran Basilica, now the Cathedral of Rome. The stars are the ones of the Apocalypse in the 12th chapter. In the sky appeared then a magnificent sign, a woman clothed with the sun, with the moon, under her feet and on her head a crown of 12 stars. The official adoption of the flag was ratified by a solemn ceremony which, organized by taking into account the engagements of the politicians who formed the Committee of Ministers, took place on December 8, 1955, the day of the Immaculate Conception, when all the leaders involved were by chance free from any other engagement. It seems, in some way, that God already knew that he would not be able to introduce the Christian roots in that famous preamble of European Constitution. Furthermore, he knew that that preamble would have been read by no one, so God, 50 years earlier, put it in the flag.